All right, everybody. I think it's just about time to bring in our guest of the day, our guest of honor. She is a singer-songwriter who has taken the internet by storm in the past year. You may know her from tracks like Rat and Sweet Hibiscus Tea, and her new EP, Hazards, is coming out this Friday, August 27th. Please, everybody, welcome to the stream, Penelope Scott.
Hello, I had to reach my microphone.
It was a good reach, though.
Thank you. That was rough.
How are you, Penelope?
I'm doing great. I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah.
I am sitting in an office chair, so if you see me like spiraling around, it's because it's not a piano bench. It's on wheels.
Is it ergonomic? I don't know what that word means. I just figured I'd ask.
I don't either.
Well, thank you so much for joining the stream today. A lot of your fans have been here for the past hour, and they've been like super excited for you, as am I. So just like, how have things been going lately? Just want to kick it off.
Things have been going pretty good. Definitely tried to throw together Hazards, and that was a bit of a rush, but we got it done, so it'll be out soon, and that's exciting. Getting ready for school. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of like throwing Hazards together, I wanted to talk to you about at least the songs that we've heard that are on Hazards or could be on Hazards, especially like 7 o'clock. Will that be on Hazards coming out?
Yeah. 7 o'clock will be on Hazards. Hazards is like 50% new. It's like 3 new songs and then 3 old songs that a lot of people will recognize from the band camps.
Oh, I love that. I think particularly I really liked listening to 7 o'clock over the past few weeks. And I think one of the coolest things about it are just the piano phrases that you inject into the song right in the middle. How do you really find a way to combine that sound? I feel like you have such like a juxtaposition of like this classical piano sound and just with a lot of digital sound and like synth sound around it. How do you go about like merging those two things?
I mean, it's for me, I've played piano longer than I've done any of this like software stuff. So it's definitely my earlier skill. Which means that when I learned software, it was about incorporating my piano into the new stuff as opposed to the other way around. I will say that in 7 o'clock, if you listen carefully, you'll hear that the piano sounds are different. There's one that's more clean and there's one that's more reverby. The clean one is digital and the reverby one is literally like a phone recording of me playing a real piano somewhere. And yeah.
That's really cool. I did kind of find a distinction because the one that was more reverby did sound more like a grand piano, like in a hall kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's exactly. And that whole song, I mean, I started with the piano recording and then I was like, oh, I should build a song around this. Whoa. And that's why I kept it in there.
That's really cool. And you mentioned all this, you learned piano way before you learned any of that software stuff. But when did you learn software and when did you learn kind of engineering your own tracks?
I would say that I started poking around with it late middle school, but I really didn't go super in depth until maybe late high school and even early college with learning like the correct way to do things as opposed to just like clicking and dragging and like like if you look at my old songs, if you look at like the actual files, you'll see that they're messy and a disaster. And that there's like all these clips and none of it's regular. There's no tempo. It's just a mess. And then the new ones are like everything's spaced out and color coded. So
wow, that's really nice though. It must feel good looking at it.
Yeah, definitely.
And kind of back to 7 o'clock, I wanted to talk about that track a bit more because I think what really grabbed me was also the cover of the single too. It kind of resembles like a horse with like a purple background. Can you talk to me about what went into that cover, who made it, and kind of what the meaning is behind it?
Yeah, so when I was in freshman year, my friends and I thought it was really fun to kind of come up with these like terrible little collage art projects and hang them up around the room. And one set of art projects that we made with this like, it was like kind of a veterinary book, but it was like an anatomy book from a thrift store. We had like painted and like colored terrible little fangs on all the horses and stuff and hung them up. And so that was the original. Bandcamp like background for that song. But then when I realized that I was going to be doing a new version of it, I was like, well, technically, I mean, I don't own that picture, so I don't want to steal it. So I just drew a horse with teeth.
You talked about I know earlier today at Soundcheck too. I asked you about that rotary phone behind you and a couple other phones that you and you told me you collect those phones, which is awesome. And then right now you talked about picking up a book at a thrift shop. And how much time do you spend in thrift shops?
I would say I spend an average amount of time in thrift shops for like. I would say I spend way less time now in thrift shops, but in freshman year it was definitely the go-to activity. And I think a lot of, especially if you're new to a dorm setting, people will relate to that because like it's like you're only going to be there for a year and you want to decorate, but you don't want to decorate in a way that you can't pick up and move. And I got a lamp one time in freshman year and returned it to the same thrift store at the end of the year and realized I never took the sticker off. Temporary living in the dorms.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Oh, what attracts you to collecting phones?
I'm not sure. I know that definitely I just think it's a fun aesthetic. I think that it's fun to have interactive decorations. And once you start collecting anything, you're the person who collects those. And then anytime someone sees them in a store, they text you and they're like, there's a phone. And you're like, okay, you know?
Really
I'll go get it.
And also in the chat, there's actually a lot of questions about your guitar stickers. And I feel like that's asking about a tattoo or something. But what are all of them?
Well, so the one on the back just says Fender. It's not particularly like exciting. It's that. But this one is a Night in the Woods sticker. I'm actually not sure. It was a gift, so I'm not sure where they got it. But yeah, definitely. I think that's all that's of interest about the guitar, except that it's Pepto-Bismol pink.
It's really beautiful. I really love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the color and the size. It's just a mini. So.
Wow, cool. I know also you talk about. You have your guitar, you have your piano. A lot of your writing is based around piano. When did you really start incorporating guitar into your music?
Well, so I've never really become good at guitar. I started to pick up the chords that I am able to play, just because it's easier to take a guitar places than a piano, and you can have a guitar in your room without having to have like a whole keyboard up there or something. So it was just portable and easy. And then I started to get a little more comfortable with it and started using it as a bass for the songs. But it was definitely an addition.
Wow. That's great. Have you found that, given that you've spent so much time playing piano, have you kind of found the same progression with playing a guitar? Have you kind of found the same like, oh, I'm getting it and like it's getting better?
No. No, I'm pretty good at piano, and I haven't officially practiced, played anything classical in a long time, so I'm rusty in that regard, but I can sound things out on a piano. A guitar is just the chords I know and nothing more, and I've tried to learn other fancy things, and it's not my jam. It's just I like to strum real fast. I don't really like any of the complicated. Yeah,
like the movements and the.
Yeah, it's hard.
Do you have any favorite songs that you've learned on piano? You said that you weren't playing some classical for a little while, but do you have any other favorite like covers that you play?
I'm not sure. I mean, I have always really sounded things out, so I haven't really sat down and like learned the notes to a song since I was doing classical lessons. Of the classical lessons, I would say that I was a big fan of all the moody minor scales, and I still am. But yeah.
What was it like also when you started making music for yourself and started recording yourself, and especially with works like Junkyard 2 and kind of getting started? How did you find your style and kind of find your voice? Because I feel like you're lyrics and melodies are very like a pointed stream of consciousness with each song. And I was wondering just how you found that you jive with that style.
Yeah, sorry, the lights in my house just flickered. I had to. Anyway, well, I would say I have been kind of trying new things on the piano forever, like since I was playing the piano. I've always enjoyed riffing and like learning a chord progression and then kind of just exploring different things to do in that melody. As for writing lyrics, that probably took off when I started keeping a journal. And I started keeping a journal probably in high school. And I definitely, a lot of people have asked, like, how do you like to come up with lyrics? You got to journal. You got to have your journal. And then you write down your feelings, especially when they're very strong. And then later you look at it and you're like, damn, that did suck, but it's going to rhyme so good later.
Oh, that's so funny. I feel like I've read a lot of critics talking about your music and reviewing your music, and I feel like a lot of them try to classify your music as a certain genre or inspired by something else. What is your view of your music, and what is your view of genres in total?
I mean, I really don't know what genre my music is. And that's not... I'm not someone who says things like genres don't matter. They totally matter. I would love to know what genre my music is. I just don't. It wasn't like a choice. It wasn't like I would like to be completely original and mix these elements. I just screamed and it came out. And that's the genre that it is. But I have heard hyperpop on some of the glitchier sounds, and I think that's fair. Yeah.
Do you find it easier to write songs when you're more emotional, or do you find it a bit more difficult?
It definitely depends on the song. I think there are definitely times when you're writing songs when you can kind of write it all at once because you have a particular feeling you're trying to express. But other times you really need to like come back to that when you're calmer and force it to follow a pattern on the instrument. So it really depends.
And I actually have a question in the chat over here about, they want me to ask about your omnichord.
My omnichord? Why? What is it? What?
Do you have an omnichord?
I think so, but what? Okay, I'm gonna have to Google what they're talking about. Omnichord.
I know it's like a musical instrument, but I was just like, do you have one?
Well, I'm not sure. I think that's more the software aspect, unless it's the pedal that came in the mail, in which case that's different. I have no idea.
There's also another question in the chat about, would you ever sell your sheet music?
So the answer is I would, but I just haven't gotten around to the effort it would take to like jot these things down. Because as I've said, I'm making stuff up most of the time when I'm playing, and that's why to me it's kind of simple. It's like, I think that if you get the chords right playing one of my songs, you've pretty much got the song. But because of that, I don't have sheet music. Like I never wrote it down, you know? And even when I'm programming it, I'm programming based on the chord progressions, but I'm not programming notes first, usually. So this is a long-winded way of saying I would love to provide sheet music, but first I'd have to transcribe all the songs, and that's daunting.
And then, you'd have to like write it down and everything. I feel like, what software do you use to make your music?
Well, so the backtracks for Public Void, I've been calling it LIMS, but like LMMS, right?
Limbs.
Limbs. And
I use my limbs.
I use my limbs, and I use limbs. And I use Pro Tools to mix the audio. And I used GarageBand for a while, but none of the recent ones are GarageBand. So yeah.
I also have some more chat questions, if that's okay with you. Everybody's really excited. We also have a picture of an omnichord as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I don't have that. I think I probably have software that sounds like that, but I don't own that.
Whoever said in the chat that it is pear-shaped, it definitely is pear-shaped. It looks like a big pear.
It looks like the eye pears from Victorious.
I was literally going to say the same thing. I didn't know if anybody was going to catch it. Okay, good. Yeah, and like Zoe 101, where they're like, oh, let me just whip out my oddly shaped pad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I got another question from the chat, and this person, it went back up, so I couldn't really see it too well. But the question was, do you receive a lot of hate over the internet or online? And if you do, how do you necessarily deal with it?
I mean, I definitely received like some nasty comments. I'm not sure if I would say I necessarily deal with it. I mean, I just assess, like, is this going to kill the vibe of the comment section? And if it is, I'm like, well, I'll just get rid of that comment then probably. But I mean, I haven't received anything particularly like catastrophic. It's pretty boilerplate. But yeah. And
do you also have your favorite song that you've written and your hardest song that you've written?
Favorite is hard. I think a while ago I probably would have said American Healthcare because it's fun to play. But at this point, I feel like I have a few that I think are well done. Cigarette Ahegao might be up there because I had a lot of fun producing that. Hardest? I might actually say Dead Girls. I mean, when I told you guys that I had a set list. I'm swapping Dead Girls in for one of the songs, so I will play it today.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. But Dead Girls, when I was producing it, I tried to find kind of a mix between having like a softer side and also being like a kind of heavy song. And I found it very difficult to do that and also play the guitar. So.
Well. And you did mention Cigarette Ahegao, which is actually probably one of my favorite tracks of yours. And I think everything on that album, on Public Void, has this kind of air of talking about the internet and kind of people romanticizing the internet. Can you talk about the themes that you were working with on Public Void in that regard?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the reason that came through is not so much because it was an intentional theme, but because I think that it's kind of a really central part of a lot of people's experiences right now, and especially those of us that have kind of been teenagers during this age and went through that. It's just a huge part of who you are, is that you grew up and were socialized in like a increasingly internet heavy society. And so it just makes sense that would be reflected in the media that you make, I think.
And kind of being part of that internet heavy society and growing up, of course, as like Gen Z in that society, what are your views on TikTok? Because I know you're very active on TikTok, and how do you think that it helps musicians?
I mean, I definitely think it can, but I think that with any like platform, you do have to be mindful of the fact that it's not gonna. It's just another facet of society, so it doesn't make sense to expect it to kind of do something that's too different from what the rest of the world is doing. Like, I think that there are a lot of movements and things on social media and on TikTok specifically that, for better or for worse, are reflections of things going on in the world. So it's not like a totally unique thing. It's just like maybe a more innovative way of doing it. That got a little spacey, sorry.
Oh, no, please feel free to get as spacey as you would like. I love to hear it, honestly. I did know you also did a series on TikTok about chronicling some of your songs, like Sweet Hibiscus Tea. I know you kind of put forth a few different versions on TikTok. And even on your YouTube, you have kind of some versions of songs, but like alternate versions or like incomplete versions. What is it like sharing those with your audience, and does it feel good to share like the raw materials of your work?
Yeah, I definitely like sharing the different versions like along the way that a song goes through. Mostly because I think it's fun for people to see how these things progress, but also I just think that like a song can always go so many different directions when you're making it, and it's nice to give people the option to choose the one they prefer, because you, the artist, are already doing the work to get it to a point. So you may as well just kind of provide some of those earlier versions in case people like them better. Because I mean, a lot of people's music taste is not about whether the polished product is better or worse than the earlier versions. It's just, what do you prefer? So,
And kind of in that vein, I got a question from the chat. Somebody was asking, is there a place that you want to put all your deleted songs for your fans to hear? Because I think DJF was a specific one that they were talking about.
Yeah. I mean, definitely I've cleared out some of the songs that I don't want to be like in the forefront, but for the most part, songs that are like not distributed everywhere are often available on the Bandcamp. And I think I'm going to probably put some more like rough drafts on the Bandcamp and continue to do that as I make more music, because I think it's fun to have them available there too.
Yeah. Are there any songs of yours that you've made that you've consistently gone back to or listened to more than other ones?
I think mostly versions of the Public Void songs. I think mostly Cigarette Ahegao I go back to because I spent so long mixing the drums on that I always try to go back and see what I was doing.
Like how you did it.
Yeah, I'll go back either to compare something new to it or just to see like even stuff as stupid like, are these speakers the similar to the ones I was listening to that on?
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Cool. All right, that was great. I'm really happy that you got to play Soap today because that's
dude, I can't hear you.
Oh, it's okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Nice. I was wondering if it was me or you.
Nice. No, it was me the whole time. I'm just happy that you got to play Soap today. That was really wonderful. Thank you so much. And I do have a few questions before you go. Okay, somebody wants to know from the chat, Big Simpin wants to know, can you ask if she ever finished the Mother's Day song?
Oh, yeah, the Mother's Day song. So what happened with the Mother's Day song is that it started on piano, progressed to guitar. I tried to program it, and it didn't sound right, so it got put on the back burner. But it is still a favorite of mine, and I hope to have it done in the next batch. Not the upcoming batch, but whenever the next batch is. Yeah.
Cool. I also got a lot of questions about your influences and your major musical influences. Do you have any, or do you have anybody that you really love listening to right now?
Yeah. Let's see. Where to begin? I would say, I mean, growing up, I listened to everything. So all sorts of music. I love all kinds of music. I'll say one big influence in the past 3 years was Lincoln, who's now like gonna be on one of my tour spots with me, or a few of the tour spots with me, which is the coolest thing in the world. If you don't listen to Lincoln, you should.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Funny thing you mentioned like some of your tour spots, because we actually, before the stream, we play a lot of different music, like when we have our countdown going before the stream starts. One of the artists that we play is actually going to be on your tour with you, Snow Ellett.
Oh, yeah.
Just a fun thing to mention. He's great.
Yeah.
So there's also there was another one from Melted Melons in the chat. I've been able to read like the usernames now because I've been like seeing them come in. They just asked, do you like anime?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I like watch anime a lot, and I definitely don't watch. Listen, I don't like anime enough to watch bad animes. Animes. But I definitely had a very serious Death Note phase.
Oh, nice.
Did the rounds. Watched a few of the seasons of Attack on Titan in high school, but then got bored. But yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So a healthy like of anime.
I would say, yeah. I also watched Ouran High Host Club. You're supposed to watch it after you watch other anime, and I didn't do that. I watched it as like one of the first ones, and I was like, it's a lot.
Boy. Yeah, it is a ton. Planticore in the chat asks, are you going to plan to release any other instrumental songs, kind of like Phones?
I was actually thinking about that because I did a few that are on Bandcamp, but not anywhere else, called like Them's Dancing Words and like Time of My Life. And I thought about making those like their own mini album and releasing them. I might do it if there's interest there, but they're available on Bandcamp. And I also have thought about trying to put words over one of them and releasing it as its own song. So I'd have to figure out if I wanted to do that.
Cool. And I just wanted to thank you so much for coming to the stream today. And you did a wonderful job. The performance was incredible. And congratulations on your EP coming out Friday. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans before you go?
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for having me. Get hyped for some new songs. Hopefully they'll be to some of your taste. But yeah.
That's great. Well, Penelope, thanks so much for joining us again, and hope to see you sometime soon. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye, all.
Bye. That was a very fun guitar portion. Thank you so much.
Very cute. Give me 1 second.
Oh, no problem. I have that problem every single day. Great job. Amazing first few songs. I gotta say, the whistling portion honestly killed me. I've never heard such a powerful whistle.
I'm so glad because I had to, my big, okay, that's fine. My big trick is to whistle in if you have to be precise.
Oh, so like inward? Like,
yeah, like, you know? Can you not whistle in?
No, I've never done that before. Did you?
So you whistle out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just suck it back in. Okay, anyway.
my regular whistle is like very wimpy anyways, but but impressive nonetheless. I especially really like Dead Girls, of course. I'm wondering just what was the process of writing that song, and where did you draw your inspiration for the new EP?
Well, so the process of writing that song specifically was that I came up with the idea and I played it on TikTok, and then a bunch of people were like, write the rest of it, and I was like, oh, okay. So I did. I'm just sniffing my concealer into my face, just inhaling my makeup. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's meant to be kind of a dark song, but it's also relatable because everyone, especially now that you hear news from all over the world, but like everyone knows some hometown tragic story. Right. And I think I was probably talking to friends about those, like our various high school experiences of like, oh, I knew this person who passed away kind of thing when I thought about the idea for that song. Yeah.
Well, and I do know that I wanted to talk about your songwriting kind of when you first started out, because you grew up around Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah, within driving distance.
I was wondering, what role did technology and, I don't know, the tech industry surrounding you kind of play in your musical ventures? I
mean, I guess I would say that a lot of the more synthetic sounding music that I make is really inspired by all these like new ways that we're able to make music now, which is really cool, but also really overwhelming. I think people have always been trying to come up with like new innovative ways to make a sound that no one's heard. I mean, sampling is like such an old art form, but especially now when you can just kind of do it on your laptop, there's a lot of exciting options.
And I know, to talk about Rat as a song, I feel like is a huge hit, and I feel like it got so much exposure really early on, and you kind of make allusions to this meme of Elon Musk too in the song, and Thomas Malthus and all of these interesting figures. What were you really speaking about in that song, and what did you want to convey?
I was mostly talking about like worshiping technology and the business of technology as its own belief system that should be examined just like any other. And I think that's why all the references kind of came together that way.
How did you feel when that song really took off?
I mean, at first it was exciting, but it's also one of the more vulnerable songs I've made. So I was like, oh God,
Like,
now
why that one?
Yeah. I made this thing and everyone's going to listen to it and know I made it. But yeah.
I do have a question from the chat, and to everybody in the chat too, feel free to drop your questions in. I'll be happy to ask them. This question is, can you please ask if she's planning on making more songs in the style of 7 O'Clock? Everybody's loving 7 O'Clock.
So yes and no. I would say yes because I still like all the sounds and synthesizer effects and stuff I used in it. And I mean, I like to make music in that style, but there also is something to the magic of the newness of the friend group that I was in when I made that, and like all of the kind of fun, goofy energy. And maybe that's something that can't quite be recreated in the same way, but I sure would like to try. So
really cool. Also, I got another question. What was your favorite album or project to make and put together?
Probably Public Void. I mean, Public Void was the first like set of songs that I put together knowing that they were going to be kind of a cohesive unit. The Junkyard 2 was, I mean, the Junkyard 2 is called the Junkyard 2 because it's just a collection of junk. I mean, these were junk songs that did not have anything tying them together. I just like threw them all together and I was like, that's the second Junkyard, because the Junkyard 1 is on Bandcamp. And they're both just piles of unrelated music from completely different time periods, just like strung together. But Public Void I worked on at least all during the same summer. So
wow. And Junkyard 2, I actually had a question about that. The album cover of Junkyard 2, is that just like a random photo of the back of like an apartment?
Yeah, it's a photo I took on the way to like a grocery store, and it was like right when COVID was like breaking. So it was just this like haunting, just weird cryptid shit. And I was like, oh God, what does this mean? Why is the coffee still cold if the chair's empty? You know what I mean? Like I had so many questions.
Oh God. Okay, another few questions. A lot of your fans are from Europe in the chat, and they're asking if whenever COVID is not as bad or it goes down a lot, would you have a plan to tour in Europe? Either Germany and the UK have been kind of the big places that everybody's been asking about.
I mean, I would love to. Yeah, it's really just up to fate and Miss Rona. Miss
Rona.
Miss Rona to take her leave. Yeah.
And what part of a song usually comes first for you in your songwriting process? I think you talked about starting a lot of songs with like piano phrasing and kind of going up from there. Is that usually what you see, or do lyrics kind of dominate a few of the songs that you've made?
I would say it's more like I make lyrics and come up with melodies somewhat independently of each other usually, and then I try to match them together. I try to be like, okay, well, I was working on a few different melodies. This lyric needs somewhere to sit, so I'll put her here, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And do you plan on making any CDs or vinyls for any of your music? Notably, somebody asked about Junkyard 2, if there were going to be vinyls or CDs for that.
Yeah, I mean, so the Public Void vinyls have been out, and people seem to be very happy with them. But the Junkyard 2, we didn't do as early because we knew that Public Void was like more in demand. But I think we are planning to do Junkyard 2 vinyls. And if I wasn't supposed to tell you that, then sorry. But
that's a good scoop.
Planning to.
Would you ever release Junkyard 1?
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't release it as the Junkyard 1. I would definitely be interested, though, in going back and taking songs off of it and kind of putting them out. And I think some of them already are. I think Hammerhead was originally on the Junkyard 1, if I remember correctly. Oh. But yeah.
What made you kind of put it on 2 and repurpose it?
I mean, When I made the Junkyard 2, I snatched all sorts of songs from all over that I thought people might be interested in, because this was, sorry, there's a particularly large butterfly flying by. Okay.
What color was it?
It was off-white. But Junkyard 1. So I was taking all the songs off the Junkyard 1 that I thought people might have interest in, and was moving them over. And Hammerhead was one where I was like, I feel like this was pretty succinct, and I thought that the chords were fun, and I thought people would like it, and also I didn't have that many guitar songs on the Junkyard 2, so I was like, should probably snatch that and move it over. So, yeah.
Cool. And do you have any favorite tracks for yourself off Junkyard 2, or songs that you love playing the most, perhaps?
I mean, Hammerhead is a fun one. And I mean, I always think that the piano of American Healthcare is kind of whimsical, so probably that one too.
Cool. And some of your fans are also asking when you will start kind of streaming again.
I'm not sure. I should probably be doing that, huh? Maybe. Yeah, I had forgotten that was a thing that I did until this moment, so that's a nice reminder.
Anything you need, I'm here.
I've been goofing off, doing music.
Yeah, doing school eventually, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a ton.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what I've been doing, obviously, but it's just it's related.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Penelope, I'm really excited to get into your next batch of songs, so you can go on ahead.
All right. Let's turn Mr. Piano on now that I'm not leaning on it anymore. Let's see. I'm adjusting where my pedal is.